Hi and welcome to week 4, the week of Netzach. We are moving from the center of the heart, from the Tiferet and down towards our right hip. And this whole week we will be in this masculine side of the tree of life and sensing into this diamond we all have inside of us. When God shines its light on this diamond, the Netzach diamond, it spreads out into the quality of endurance and willpower and strength to move forward. It's like having this inner drive to move towards our goals and manifestation. And at the same time, the archangels are working with us and helping us to connect with it in a joyful way. Connecting us with our gifts so we can share our gifts with the world from a free space within. And as we are moving through the tree of life and purifying ourselves, our ego patterns become visible to us, and all those things or patterns or fears that is holding us back from sharing our mission and our gifts, they will be revealed to us. They will come up for us. This is what I really love about the counting of the Omer, because we are shifting through the whole tree of life day by day, week by week. And if we really decide to go deep within these energies, our limited ideas and our fears will be visible to us. It will come up. I have been prepared for this Netzach week now. A couple of days ago, I started to sense into this, and there were also some triggers coming into my life to show me where I'm out of balance and where I have some wounded parts that needs attention and healing and love and care. And let me share a little bit with you how I received my mission, because maybe it can bring you some inspiration to sit down and ask to be shown why you are here and what you are meant to do. First, when I received my mission, it came after me sitting down every morning and having this intention that I wanted to learn how to channel. So I asked every morning, dear guides, dear angels, dear God, do you have a message for me today? And for the first week, I felt a little bit confused and not so sure if I was channeling or not. But the messages were very short, very loving. It was, we love you so much, dear child. We bring you peace. We come with joy. We love you. You don't have to be afraid. We are here. We are supporting you. You are not alone. These kinds of messages. And it felt so good. I felt I was showered with mercy and grace. And love and light and peace and harmony. It was like my angels were surrounding me and pouring this water, this sacred, holy words down onto my crown and down into my heart. But still my mind was questioning it, if I was just making this up or not. And I was thinking, well, if I do, it doesn't really matter because it makes me feel really good to write these words down towards myself and give me that grace and that love. So if it's channeling or not, it's not really that important, because what's important is the effect it's having on me. So I was giving it a chance, and I decided I will do this every morning for a while and see what happens. Maybe something wants to come through. And when I was sitting down and writing, I gave my hand to the guides so they could write through my hand without me thinking too much, just allowing them to write. And the letters were quite different, and they were big letters that came through me, and I was like, oh my God, now I'm going crazy. But I just allowed this process to happen. And then suddenly, after a week or so, I sat down with the same question: do you have a message for me today? And bang, there it was. Yes. Today we have a message for you. You are here to heal the masculine and the feminine energies. Your name is between sun and moon. Actually, first they gave me the name before they gave me my mission. So they said, your name is between sun and moon. And then I asked, okay, what does it mean? Does it have anything to do with the masculine and the feminine? Yes, you are here to heal them, those energies. The message was so clear, and I could never have made up that name. For me, it came completely out of the blue. But when I received it, it felt like a huge honor. I felt importance in the work I'm doing. I felt like I was placed here on earth to do a certain work, to serve God in a greater mission. And I felt very obliged to follow that through and to actually do what I was said, or was what I was told to do. So I immediately asked the question, how can I do that? And then my guides pointed me in the direction of a friend of mine, who I realized later is my twin soul, who is my spiritual partner, my awakening partner, who is the mirror to all my suffering, all my wounds, all my trauma. And it has been quite a journey for us, for both of us. But I'm the one who's probably more conscious about this whole journey and the mission we are on together. But anyways, I also started to write books and poems and trying to really understand the masculine and the feminine energies and understand them on all levels, within the body, within the universe, within the planets, within the angels, the deities. I went to the gods and goddesses within the Hindu tradition, trying to understand the dynamic by reading about them and understanding them. And in the end, I ended up with a Kabbalah that was given to me through Mother Mary. But first, Yeshua and Mary Magdalene showed up in my dream. And they showed me something that I saw in a vision, that I was in the pyramids and I was taking off this heavy cloak from my twin soul. And we were going into the pyramids for several months to do this purification process. And I saw many other things I will not share now because it's so detailed and so deep, but I was warned. Mary Magdalene and Yeshua came to me in my dream and they said, now it's the time to take off that heavy cloak. And she pulled that heavy cloak over my head and I was terrified. It was like all my fears, my whole life and my whole past life were coming up, like you pull up a giant root hidden to you, but it contains all the fear you ever experienced. That's how terrified I was when this cloak was pulled over my head. And I woke up and I was so scared. I couldn't go back to sleep for hours because it took me such a long time to find my peace again. And then some months went by and I went into a really, really deep purification where I healed so many wounds, and suddenly I had the access to the Akashic records and I started to see my past lives and so many things were shown to me. And then what happened was that Mother Mary came some months later in my dream, showing herself like this giant hologram on the sky, and she showed me the tarot cards, which brought me to the Kabbalah and the counting of the Omer. This was also brought to me through another person who I was magnetized towards, the Tree of Life. He's actually writing a doctorate degree about it, so the universe made sure I got this from more than one angle, because it was obviously a very important tool that I would receive so I could do my work. And then I did my first counting of the Omer and I realized what powerful system this is to go through a purification, and I immediately understood that I'm supposed to bring this forward and help people to go through the same process by making it, how to say, something we all can relate to. Understand that we don't need to be a part of a religious context or be a Jew to understand this amazing, mystical, powerful Tree of Life and counting of the Omer. When that is said, I have also received some texts from the Bible that wants to be read through me and understood somehow on a deeper level, so I can bring that forward as well, so people can understand the hidden messages in it. And one piece of the Bible that wanted to be read by me is the Revelation. And it's a very, very mystical text. But when I started to read it, I saw that many of my visions and things that have been coming to me in my dreams are written there. So I understood why I had to go deeply into this text and unpack it word by word. And I'm still working on it. But today I felt guided to read for you a little piece of that, because how I see this is that Yohanan, one of Yeshua's disciples, he is through the revelation explaining the whole awakening process and the process of purification through the counting of the Omer, or at least through the tree of life, and how he can purify these inner diamonds. And he calls them, or named them, the 7 star sisters, which is of course also related to the Pleiades and the 7 star sisters. So it has so many layers of wisdom. I don't even know where to begin, but I will share with you a little bit from it today, because we are on this mission week. First, I want to explain how this is coming through Yohanan. So I'm reading from chapter 1 and 9. I, Yohanan, am your brother and companion in suffering and in the patiency which is in Yeshua. I was in the island that is called Patmos because of the word of God and because of the testimony of Yeshua the Messiah. So Yohanan, he goes to the island Patmos, which is in Greece. I have a feeling he goes there because that's a place on the earth where the layer is thinner, or the veil is thinner. That there are many places on this earth where it's easier to go beyond the veil and to have revelations and to see the truth behind this physical world. So he goes there because he has this inner calling. And there he receives this whole revelation, which became like a book. And he sees so many things, and he journeys through something I receive as how to say it, he goes through the whole awakening process, the whole purification process. He sees the challenges we as humans meet on this journey of awakening. And then in the end, when he has moved through the whole awakening experience, he comes to the new earth, the new Jerusalem, where he is home, where he comes into this temple of crystals, and he sees the 12 gates and the fountain of life, which is the Chesed. So it's so beautiful. So I'm not going to read that first part, but I'm jumping directly to the Revelation chapter 2, number 17. To the one who is victorious, I shall give of the manna which is hidden, and I shall give him a white pebble, and upon the pebble a new name in writing that no man knows except he who receives. And I chose this part today because when I read this the first time, I was so shocked by what I read, because I received this white pebble in my dream 1.5 years ago. I received a small white stone, and on this stone there were a lion head and eagle or angel wings. And I had that stone in my right hand, and I was going through some chaos in my life. But in my dream, I knew that when I find this stone again, I will be home. And it felt like it contained so many hidden messages to me. And when I would understand all those messages, then I would be home. And if you know the tarot cards, at least the deck I have, which I ended up buying, on the Two of Cups, there's a lion head and eagle wings on the top. And there's a woman and a man coming into union with each other. And when I saw that card, I started to cry. Because, as it says, you receive this stone with your name on, which also contains your mission. I have a feeling if you're listening to this, you're on a mission. You're not just here to fill up the space on this earth. We all have that power to change the human experience. We all have this power to go within and find heaven within. So these are just a few messages I received about my own mission and God kind of, directing me on the right path. Another message I received was from a dream where I was in this shamanic workshop for a weekend, and then during the night I dreamt that I went to see a shaman, and she asked me to lay down, and she showed me a way that I could heal my scar, which I have from a surgery because of cancer. And then she said to me, "You are a spokesperson." And I got a little confused or surprised by what she said to me. And then I woke up with these words in my mind, Sankt Peter. And to be honest, I didn't know much about Peter, so I really had to go Google who is Sankt Peter. And of course, it's one of Yeshua's disciples, and the one who really was on this mission to spread the words of Yeshua and to create the first church in Rome. So he really went on a mission. He took the words coming from Yeshua and brought it into the world and created church and temples, even though that was not really maybe Yeshua's main teaching. He wasn't very it wasn't important for Yeshua to have temples or churches, because he wanted to tell us that we have the heaven, we have the church inside, we have God within. We don't need to go anywhere to find that, or we actually have to go somewhere. We have to go inside. But still, if that wasn't done, if Peter didn't bring this into a system, Yeshua's words would maybe have gone missing. So we can thank Peter for this, even though his human conditions and personality can be questions here and there. He still did something from a very, very good intention. He wanted to spread the words of Yeshua, the teachings of Yeshua, the love coming from Yeshua. But what was missed in this was the feminine. The tree of life was taken out of it. The divine mother, Mary Magdalene. Something got lost, something got changed on the way, and it brought it completely out of context and balance. But now is the time to rebalance it. And I believe God really have created this awareness about twin souls now and counterparts, and so many people are waking up through a counterpart because they are mirroring the wounds and the traumas between us. We are normal people living in the normal physical world, and yet we are on the spiritual journey of awakening. We are not a monk or a nun sitting in a monastery. We are out there in the world. And we all receive messages about our mission and how we can do that. And we are all different. So we need to stop comparing ourselves with others. So obviously I'm a spokesperson. And Peter came to me through a book I'm listening to these days. Just yesterday I was driving my car and listening to this book, and they started to talk about Peter and his role. And I was like, wow, this is so interesting. It's coming to me now the day before Netzach, reminding me of my mission and how I can share my gifts to help the human consciousness to develop and change by just being me and sharing how I perceive things and how I receive guidance. I can do this. Of course, there is fear of not being good enough or saying something wrong, doing something wrong, not doing enough. That's probably one of my biggest challenges, that I'm so afraid not serving enough, not being good enough, that I end up using too much of my energy helping people. So we all need to learn to balance. But today I invite you to sit down and deeply listen. Imagine this Chesed river of love coming into you, like the angels are pouring this crystal stardust river over your head, and allow it to flow down to your crown, down to your heart, spreading out to your hands and arms, spreading down to your right hip. And listen for directions, or just sense into your own gifts and where you feel joy, Very often when we are in alignment with our gifts and we are sharing it, it feels easy. It feels light and joyful. It feels like we are filled with new energy, like something bigger is being channeled through us. So it just feels good, light, joyful. And it feels like it's something one can do for a long time without becoming tired or feeling empty after it. Of course, there's always finding the balance within the physical element. And sometimes our ideas or emotions coming from fear and conditioning and past lives where we were persecuted for sharing our gifts. So there is a lot to heal there before these gifts can be shared freely. But now we are living in a time where it's safe to do so. At least for most of us, it is. So we can all heal those wounds and that trauma which is in the collective by bringing so much love to our fear that it can only go one way, and that is to melt and be healed and become whole. And every time we do that, we send this light into the collective. We are a part of this giant spider web, and every time we choose love over fear, our web is being lightened up. And you can imagine if one person is one connection in a way in this enormous spider web, when you light up your little connection dot in the giant spider web, what happens is that you spread that light into the web. So every person who is connected with you and every person who is connected to that person again and again and again will be affected by your healing and your choice of light and love. Every time you choose to heal something or release a fear, it spreads out into this giant spider web. And I will say that probably we change 1,000 people every time we make that choice. So it's worth it, isn't it, to spend some time in contemplation and going into some healing ceremonies, healing those inner children, releasing that fear. Even though it seems like you're just withdrawing and being lazy, someone would even say, are you not ever going to be done on this self-realization journey? No, I won't. Because this is why I'm here. I'm supposed to go so deeply within and see every structure and pattern within myself and switch it off, those patterns which are not in alignment with the highest good, with the light and love of God. So I can change this giant spider web. That's why I'm here. And I'm not changing that just because I receive some judgments here and there, or people think I'm strange, or because they do. It's hard for people to understand this lifestyle I'm having, which is okay. They don't need to understand it. But what I need to do is to stand strong in that and to make that my mission every day. Every day I have to make that choice. Yeah, I think I will conclude that, and I hope this was a little bit inspiring, that it will inspire you to sit down and listen and ask your guides and angels for direction and help. And this lovely, delicious masculine energy of drive and moving forward, moving towards victory. For me, it's delicious when it's in its light and not in its shadow. When it's in its shadow, it becomes like a thing I just do because I feel I have to, or I'm falling into the trap of doing all the time, not stopping and listening. And it can become manipulative if I have a goal and I go towards it and I'm not sensitive enough to wait or to allow things to unfold in its right timing. So this masculine Netzach, it always needs to be balanced with the hood. These two are like brothers and sisters, and they really need to work together. Otherwise, we will end up being like the rest of the world in this drive mode, this constant stress mode where we are just on this wheel of working, earning money, creating success in our lives and becoming successful. That's really the shadow part of this. But the more we can align with our true mission and share our gifts in a way that supports us and others, it can become such a nice feeling of inspiration and drive and courage and endurance to go towards something which is important. Yeah. Okay, I will end the day by saying Namaste, which means I see the light within you. I acknowledge it and I honor it. We all have this light. We all are children of God. Namaste.